Let's talk histograms and the normal distribution. So what we see here is that we're talking about a histogram. Remember that a histogram is just a special type of bar graph. It's when the heights of the bars are proportional to the frequency, right? How many times something shows up. And the widths represent the value or the range of values. When there is a range of values, that's when we're talking about class intervals. Histograms are used when the independent variable is continuous. So it's numerical, and I like to think if you can have decimals or fractions, that's when you're thinking continuous data. For example, the distribution of outcome assessment scores for Math 123 in summer of 2022. So we're talking about scores earned on an assessment. So why is this appropriate for the bars to be touching? Why is it okay that this is a histogram? When you think about a score on a test, you can score, a 90 or a 91. You can also score a 90.5 or a 90.25. All of those are okay because we're talking about numbers, right? You're talking about how many points did you earn out of 100. So because it's not just discrete of 90 or 91, you can have everything in between. That makes this continuous data. So if it's continuous, then we can have the bars be touching. What do the height of the bars represent? Well, if you think about the height of the bars, they talk about here, or the y-axis or the vertical axis, and that's the number of students. So the height of the bars represents how many students are in that particular category. So the width of the bars represent the scores earned. And you can see they are in interval form, meaning if I look at just this random bar in the middle, this bar represents all the scores anywhere between 41 and 50. That's in this particular bar, so it's the scores earned. When working with histograms, there's an understood order to the data listed on the horizontal axis, meaning it goes from least all the way to the greatest. This allows us to consider the skewness or the skew of the data set. Once again, how would we say this data is skewed? Well, we can see that here's the main part, right? And then I always say there's only two pieces to the right, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. So if you think about which way does it really go and flow, left. So we would say this is skewed left.